How's it going, everybody? I had a discussion, I think it was a few years ago, and it was kind of, I was thinking about it the other day, and I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a video just because it was important to me, and for no other reason than that. The discussion I had a few years ago was, why do I choose to invest, so much time into reading extended periods of work or reading books that are over 100 pages, over 200 pages, that might be 500, 600, 700 pages when we live in an era of Google, and especially history books. Like if you want to read something about like my area of interest, like World War II or Winston Churchill or something like that, why in the world would you read an 800-page book on Winston Churchill when you could probably Google any question you might have about him, online? Why would you choose to do that? And I think the answer to that is there's a benefit for me, and I think for you too, in investing in a topic or a subject for the long term. I don't want to have a knowledge based in Google or in the here's a question, here's the quick answer. That doesn't give me a full picture. That gives me short little mini strokes, I guess you can say, of an entire painting. I want to know the details. I want to know all the different thoughts. I want to see that picture from different angles. And for me, the best way that comes is through reading work in its totality, not just in the short term or just for question and answer sake. It's to get a full picture of the individual or the topic or even the book. We can do that with fiction. We can Google any fact about Lord of the Rings, or we can Google any fact about Harry Potter or whatever. But there's a certain satisfaction, there's a certain joy, and there's a certain benefit about staying with the author and plotting with characters and investing in those people and that subject for the long haul. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're ever debating, like, is reading kind of passé or old hat now in the era of Google and instant feedback from search engines and stuff like that, I don't think it is. It doesn't provide the same richness. We can get information, but information is not the only thing we're seeing here or feeling. And I think it's same in relationships. You know what I mean? We can find out little tidbits. We can ask our spouse or our significant other, our kids, facts about themselves, and they can probably give us really quick answers. But there's nothing like investing in that relationship for the long haul with another person, when they're up, when they're down, when they're feeling this way and that, and going through life's joys and troubles, and just living day in and day out with that person. It's a richness that you have that you don't have just by answering questions and getting answers based on their personality or what they prefer. So I want to encourage you to keep reading. I'm not saying you should just read brief things or that you shouldn't do Google searches. I most certainly do. I do Google searches when I need a quick piece of reference, but I don't rely on that for the bulk of my growth, for the bulk of my knowledge, especially in topics that I'm really interested in and have a joy in learning about. If I have a joy in learning or an investment in reading, I don't want the short book. I want the long book. I want to read more and more. And that feeling if you've really invested in something like a work. And this was more popular during the Harry Potter era, where they never wanted the books to end. And you almost felt disappointed when then that last book or that last page was finished. So let me encourage you to invest in those things. You're probably not. I find myself interested in almost too many things. Sometimes I need to curtail it and trim it down to 3 or 4 things that I'm really interested in. But if I'm really interested in it, and like you probably are too, you're probably gonna need to trim it down to 2 or 3 things, but invest heavily in it and just decide that this is my thing, and I'm gonna know every single thing about this. I think there's a joy in that, and there's a benefit in that, and you can benefit others through it too. And let me encourage you to keep doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that, and I think it's beneficial. I think it provides not meaning and purpose, because we only get that through the things that are of ultimate significance in our lives. But it does provide something tangible and special to us that that somebody else may not share. Only a few people share. If you have a passion for whatever it is, cooking, you invest in that heavily, and you take your time. You don't rush those things. If you have a love for a certain artist, a certain music group, you don't listen to the minute and 30-second clip on iTunes that you're provided. You get the whole catalog, and you listen to those songs over and over and over again, and you see the nuance in those songs, and it's good. That's why you can stare at a piece of art that's painted. One picture, you could stare at it for hours and hours and see what the artist has done, and never really exhaust it because it's that profound. So let me encourage you to resist the impulse to let all of your growth and all your knowledge come from a search engine, even though they do have their place for reference and quick answers. But don't let that be your source. Dive deep into those things you love, and I guarantee you won't regret it. So those are just my quick thoughts. Again, this was based on a conversation I had a few years ago, and I just wanted to talk about it just to get it off my chest. I hope it helps you, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy the things that you love and keep investing in it. All right, we'll see you again next time. Later.